And now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another episode of Shitfic Showcase. I descended into the blood, slowly sinking to the floor of blood in this blood ocean of blood. Aquatic enemies were everywhere, and they were hard to avoid. Black Shark, in particular, was very aggressive and hard to deal with. But thankfully, I only encountered one.
Yeah, they look great.
Yeah, there's some sperm, there's some redfish, two fish, dead fish, ewe fish.
Yeah, and
that thing. A shark, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Fuck it. It's so dark. As the scene become more and more crowded, I swum up to the surface to find that it was littered with floating corpses. You shithead. Became! That's the past tense of become. Became. Creepy, but at least they're not a threat. Or so I thought.
What? No.
The universe just loves proving me wrong, don't it? Until they all sprang to life and leaped on me! Leapfrog! Whee! Dogpile! They were trying to pull me under, and they were draining my health as they did it.
Pull me under! Pull me under! Pull me under, my friend!
It's a Dream Theater song.
Okay. They all attacked as a group, and when I got one off me, another would jump on me from behind. I had to curl up into a ball and roll for them to loosen their grip. And when they did, I quickly retreated. It wasn't long before I had reached another land path. A note regarding the brambles. You can stand on them, but it causes pain. And you can also destroy some of the vines, but only the thinner ones. I had to destroy multiple vines, as well as dealing with more enemies. By the way, this game referenced my dead girlfriend. But you know the vines and the thinner ones, and the brambles too. The brambles, you can stand on them, but it hurts.
You can also destroy some of the women, but only the thinner ones.
And only with a truck.
Yeah.
I am man, but also wires. I am duck, but also skeleton. I was interrupted by a scream. Mother! Tell your children not to walk my way!
Not to play my idiots, Rob Hacks.
The screen was only up for about 30 seconds. Only 30 seconds.
Only 30 seconds, yeah.
Yeah. And then it went back to the level, and then I was facing another dead end and a pregnant humanoid creature being hanged from the top right of the screen by a spine/umbilical cord. Gross.
That sure is an umbilical-looking spine.
Uh-huh. Instantly, the creature's belly was split open from the inside.
Whoa, that sure is interesting.
That looks like a fucking Muppet. That looks like the Blue Muppet.
Yeah, it's like if you crossed Muppets with Alien. Like if the fucking chestburster scene happened and then just Kermit popped out.
John Hurt, no! He got hurt by Kermit! And as the lower part of its body was ripped apart and fell into the river below, the Blood Lakes boss was revealed. Man-Bat! You've heard of Batman, now get ready for Man-Bat!
Yeah, they had to throw this idea out. This was on one of the crumbled up pieces of paper when they were designing Batman. That was, tossed behind him like, no!
That's stupid, no one would do this. And then decades later, someone do this.
Yep.
It came flying towards me, making a shrill hacking scream. I was forced to move back into my parents' house. Also, this thing is fucking shooting snot at me, that's great.
No, it's a hacking scream. It's like hacking into the system, man. It'll hack you back in time.
The bat was a highly mobile boss, fast and difficult to hit. As I moved back along the ground, the monster opened its mouth and shot out a barrage of needles. Shout, shout, let all the needles out! These are the things that are you that. I jumped over them and managed to give it a blow to the head, and it started flying out of my reach and shooting booger eye beams. As the bat was flying, it shot a stream of fire from its eye sockets and started trying to hit me with the flames.
Yes, fire. That's that.
Through the greed fire and green flames.
Through the stardom, because we carry on.
I rolled along the ground, which drained my power, but put us at equal speed. This cycle repeated about 3 times, until the monster was defeated. With most of my health drained, I went back to the edge of the level, and the large bramble vine blocking the exit was now gone. Now only 2 levels left to go. Who to send this time? Godzilla, Mothra, and Angry Ass had all completed 1 level, leaving Solomon. You wouldn't want to leave out your new friend. And also the mysterious 5th monster. I tried again to access it, but with no luck. I chose to use Godzilla again for the next level, and Solomon for the final one. The second to last level was what I refer to as the organic level.
It's just fucking Whole Foods.
Yeah! Which was the most visually unpleasant of them all because there were a bunch of smelly barefoot hippies walking around. Squeezing the fucking tomatoes to check their freshness. Getting their grubby hands all over the fucking produce.
Yeah. Yep, that's pretty much what I expected.
More red. Great. Right from the start, I could see that the graphics were freakishly different. The atmosphere was gruesome and foreboding, with the addition of the loud droning music. I was dreading what I would see in these levels, and it was only a few seconds before something appeared. Fucking pig dinosaurs, no!
Very important to brush your teeth, and then you can have a beautiful smile just like me.
You're so tiny, Godzilla. 2 hideous things. It's hard to describe most of this level. Everything had this disturbing, quote-unquote, semi-real look to it. Most of the enemies look halfway between real animals and misshapen lamps of gore with teeth.
That's gonna be my fucking band. I'm gonna start the Mishumpin Lamps of Gore.
With teeth.
Yes, teeth will be like
The
our
backup
side
band.
guy.
Yeah, the backup band.
Yeah.
It's also worth noting that
The
all
dude
of
on
them
Triangle or whatever.
were considerably larger than Godzilla, and although the majority were not very intelligent, each of them took around 30 plus hits to kill. Due to this, it was a better idea to run away from them than fight, but it was never clear exactly what direction to run into. While most levels involved going to the right to get to the exit, the path of this level was primarily going down, by walking to the edge of one platform and jumping down to a lower one. There was no way to make sure you were going the right way, nor any apparent means of getting back up to the higher platforms if necessary. Also, certain enemies acted as if they were aware you had to jump down, and would stand at the edge of a lower platform, waiting on you. Oh god, it's like Mortal Kombat Mythologies, with the guy standing right at the
Yeah.
other side of the rope you're supposed to jump on to kick you off of it as soon as you jump.
Assholes.
When this happened, I would have to walk back and wait until the monster would leave.
Are you gonna come down here yet?
Are you gonna give me your leftovers? They're like dogs begging for scraps, basically.
Yeah.
That's what they look like to me. As I went on, I came across platforms stacked above each other with little space in between, looking like a maze. This meant that I couldn't jump, and it made escape from enemies difficult. Thankfully, the only enemies able to fit through these mazes were the four-legged beasts seen at the beginning of the level. Adding to the difficulty were long tapeworm-esque creatures that would rise themselves up between the platforms and trap you. The only attack they responded to was the heat beam, which would cause them to shrink back down. But this was costing even more power, and I couldn't afford to do without the heat beam for long.
Yeah.
Are these testicles on like intestines? intestinicles.
Testicles.
While trying to avoid the abominations that dwell in this level.
They fucking, like, messed up Q-tips.
Yeah, they do. Godzilla has cleaned his ears out, and this is the result.
Yeah.
While trying to avoid the abominations that dwell in this level, I found out that if you stand idle in one place for too long, the ground tries to absorb your monster. Oh, that's ass. Also, that is also ass.
Get off my lawn.
It's an old man turtle with 2 legs. I think it was about 4 minutes before the end that this level was making me physically ill. The tension was getting to me, and having to take in all these disgusting sights made me want to puke. I nearly did pause the game and look for a bag, but I was able to hold it together.
Wow, good for you, man.
None of that looks gross, really. It looks like meat, I'll grant you.
I mean, it's ugly, but, like,
The whole
not vomit-worthy ugly.
The fucking whole game has looked ugly so far.
Yeah.
I also found a trick at the end of the level.
Ooh, a trick!
Though it was too late to do me any real good. If 2 different species of monster to run into each other face to face, they would fight each other and leave me alone. I didn't intentionally cause this, it just happened. Oh man, it's whoop your ass chicken versus fucking like H.R. Giger fetus.
The fucking chicken was like, look, I'm sorry I bothered you.
Look, can I just get this coupon put on my damn soda or not? Or am I gonna have to get your manager?
No, look, ma'am, I'm sorry, the coupon is expired. Also, I'm a fetus, wah.
Finally, at the end, it was time for another boss fight. It was certainly ugly, but not quite as horrific as I feared it would be. But more important than dealing with its appearance was defeating it. And since I had less than half my health bar to start with, there was no room for errors.
It's another sock puppet.
I am a dinosaur popsicle! It was attached to the floor when I first saw it, but after 10 hits, it detached from the floor and began floating. It moved fast, and unlike the Blood Lakes boss, he wasn't impeded by any sort of gravity. It was even able to fly through the ground without any collision effect. Some bitch.
Wow! That's crazy!
It used this to its advantage. It would float beneath the ground and spring up randomly to bite at you. But it stopped doing this after a few well-aimed kicks to the face. The pink area on its upper jaw was a weak point. Too many hits there would cause it to spasm uncontrollably. The pink area on its upper jaw?
Oh, yeah, that
You mean basically its entire upper jaw?
No, just the pink area. See, the rest of its upper jaw is pink. But the pink area is the weak point, you know?
Oh, I didn't see it.
See
like
the
that.
distinction?
Yeah. I see it, yeah. Forgive me. The new strategy was to rapidly float up, down, while moving back and forth across the stage. Rapidly float up, down, while moving back, forth across the stage. It's trying to constantly keep its jaws aimed towards me. Health was getting critical at this point, and I spammed the heat beam, from which it had no defense. In the last stretch of the battle, the monster had lost its mind, rapidly rushing back and forth and gnashing its jaws. I had to duck under it, and then strike when its back was turned. 20 more hits, and it was destroyed. One last level to go, and then it was down to one last level. Well, no shit, really.
Really?
One last level to go, and then
it was down to one last level.
The lastiest level!
Wait, which level are we on?
I didn't hesitate. I selected Solomon and entered, perhaps a little too fast. I'm the BDSM, fucking centaur demon.
Is it time for your appointment?
This last level was definitely the peak of disconnect between what the NES was graphically capable of and what this game could create. The music also caught my attention. It was one of the only songs that appeared more than once. The horrible screeching from when the Hell Beast appeared in the graveyard. As soon as I started, there was already an enemy prepared to attack. A centaur wielding a whip. And it wasn't alone. When I started fighting, several more centaurs appeared. coming from both sides at the screen at the same time. It was too much to handle. Solomon's flight saved me from taking too much damage at the start of the level. The centaurs followed after, but seemed to be unable to jump. After escaping the centaurs, I noticed gaps in the ground. While trying to avoid the jumping sword-mouthed enemies in mid-flight, I got close to the surface of the lava, and a creature emerged and tried to grab me. It didn't succeed, but I was startled. Careful maneuvering would be needed to avoid instant death here.
Hey, Godzilla! What's going on?
I once caught a fish this big!
But it was in the lava.
So it immediately dissolved. Damn. Also, I love these, fucking duck beaver thingies, whatever the fuck
Look at
these
his
are.
platypuses.
Yeah. As new enemies...
Platypi.
As new enemies appeared, the level soon became very difficult. A lot of the trouble came from stocky red demons that stood on top of tall, narrow mountains and spewed fire. I got by them by waiting until their back was turned and hitting them with a flying kick, which made them fall into the lava. It was at this time I noticed that I wasn't gaining any health from killing enemies. Look at how strong I am!
But
And
you're
how-
just breathing fire, so
Yeah.
the muscles don't
Yeah.
really matter.
And also he has short legs. He's like the Johnny Bravo of demons.
Yeah, Johnny Bravo breathed fire and not just stupid.
One-liners
Yes.
to women. And also here, as it says Snake. Not all the ground was stable. At one point, the ground was reduced to small chunks that slowly drifted towards the right. Some of them would sink into the lava upon landing on them, and there was no way to tell which ones would sink and which would not. Being so close to the lava added the threat of the lava creatures, and this was very frustrating. Two-headed other BDSM creature with underwear. I like his underwear. And his ribcage.
Stylish.
I was
Very
al-
stylish ribcage.
I was also feeling very hot, which made concentrating hard.
I was all hot and hard, and my nut hadn't been finished yet.
If you've ever had a heat rash, it felt similar to that. I had to periodically stop for water because of it. This was almost
had.
certainly due to the game and not by imagination, but I kept pushing the thought out of my head. I didn't want to think about it. At the end of the stage, I encountered the boss rising from the lava, its arrival noted with an ungodly howling roar.
Or
Blanca?
roaring hell.
When it walked onto the land, I saw how gigantic it was, several times the size of Solomon. I was about to fly up and attack it when it opened its mouth and let out a huge blast of fire.
It just looks like the NES artwork for Kraid. Where he has fucking hair all over his back.
I haven't shaved it in a while. My wife doesn't like to help me with it, so I just don't even bother.
Yeah.
He's like a reverse Austin Powers. There's all sorts of fucking hair on his back. I had to fly to dodge the flames and then get close enough to the boss to fire a heat beam at its face, causing it to stumble backward. If it didn't stumble backwards, it would have kept moving left until it forced Solomon into the lava, as there was no more ground within reach.
Basically Crocomar.
The beast had to wait between uses of its fire breath, as this seemed to cost a great deal of energy. I used this time to attack it, but fire wasn't its only weapon, and I had to wary of the monster, of the monster swatting at me with its clawed hands. He's just missing whole words. It's not
Yeah.
like he's misspelling words. For the most part, he isn't. He's just, like, forgetting to type shit. I could probably write my own fucking creepypasta with all the words this guy's forgotten to type. As its health decreased, it moved faster, and the battle felt like a tug-of-war between the two monsters over this bridge of land. After about 40 hits, it was defeated, tumbling backwards into the lava from whence it came. And then the final stage had been completed. At last, it was down to 2 bosses, and a final encounter with the Hell Beast. For some reason, I thought Ghidorah would be easier to beat, so I confronted him first. The classic Ghidorah battle music from the original started up, and I was faced against the new King Ghidorah,
Ah,
three-headed pee-pee dragon.
yep. I guess a little walk. They're just marching forward. Ah!
Those thighs, though, let me tell you, those are some. This
Yeah.
man does not skip leg day.
Absolutely not.
King Ghidorah was as powerful and unrelenting as ever. He instantly lashed out with gravity beams, which were more damaging than Godzilla's heat beam. It became a struggle of constantly beating Ghidorah at every opportunity to keep him from using the attack. Right in your eye, motherfucker!
Yeah.
He poked him in the eye like a Three Stooges character.
Yeah.
Doink!
Yeah. Each of the heads are Three Stooges.
Yeah. Boom! But Ghidorah soon saw through my tactic and started using physical attacks as well. He would strike with each of his necks, knocking me backward and making it impossible to get close enough to punch him. But I had an idea: to wait for him to lunge with one of his heads and immediately blast it with the heat beam.
That looks like ice.
That's heat.
It's heat. Yes.
It's heat that's so hot it's blue, like in Mario 64.
Yeah.
It worked, and to my surprise, the heat beam had actually obliterated Ghidorah's middle head. It was only a few seconds before I realized what this would lead to, and sure enough, what the fuck is this now? It's Mecha King Ghidorah? God damn it.
It was a robot the whole time.
King Ghidorah was using the power of the glitch to transform into Mecha King Ghidorah. But what really shocked me was the sudden change of music. I had heard it before, but it wasn't from the original NES game. It was from the game Super Godzilla during the Mecha King Ghidorah fight. Mecha King Ghidorah's first attack was its most deadly, the Machine Hand. Very similar to Gigan's Saw, it immobilizes the monster and rapidly drains the health bar. Fortunately, before Ghidorah could do a lot of damage,
You're.
the timer ran out.
Oh, he would be getting him. Oh, Nelly.
I would need to defeat Mecha King Ghidorah quickly to prevent him from using the Machine Hand, so I sent Solomon to fight him. The two monsters were evenly matched in strength. But Solomon was faster, and by slashing and heat beaming without pause, the cyborg monster soon met its end.
Yep.
With Ghidorah defeated, I was returned to the board. I had now outnumbered the enemy by 4 monsters to 1, and victory seemed to be soon at hand. The base icon had changed to a blood-red color. I could feel hatred emanating from it. Look at all that hatred.
So much hat red.
It puts the red in hatred. That's for goddamn
I was
sure.
about to say, it puts the red in hat.
I started the fight against Destoroyah with Angry Ass, and the music was the same as Ghidorah's. When the fight began, Destoroyah was in microscopic form. After one hit, it changed into the Juvenile, which had few attacks and was also dealt with easily.
Oh,
Well,
man, that's imposing.
That's microscopic. I need a microscope to see that.
Yeah.
And
Oh, look, let me look up close. Yes, according to my microscope here, it's, pixels.
The fight became serious once Destoroyah entered the aggregate form, gaining the use of large arms and the micro-oxygen beam. And also it's a horny spider.
Yep.
Don't let your wife near it. Angry Ass's roll attack, which had been very useful up until now, was rendered useless by Destoroyah constantly attacking me with his large arms when I tried to use it. For this part of the fight, I had to rely on brute strength. Just before the time ran out, Destoroyah had changed into his flying form, which Angry Ass was ill-suited to fight against.
It's fucking crawfish.
Going back in, I fought against the flying form with Mothra, which seemed fitting.
See the fitting of it?
I am Lobster Dinosaur.
And I am Moth Dinosaur.
I'm a Mothter.
Yeah.
I'm not a Mothter of Mothter, though. That's Godzilla. Mothra was weaker than Angry Ass, but was much better equipped to dodge and counter flying Destoroyah's attacks, so the fight was in my favor. However, the Mecha Ghidorah fight music started playing and Destoroyah changed into his final form sooner than expected, which drastically turned the tables. That's some kind of meat dinosaur you've got there.
Yep. It's
It looks delicious.
a Dinosaurus and the meatiest. Oh,
Meat dinosaurs.
yes.
Ma-
That.
Mothra's attacks were doing very little to Destoroyah, and I had to move furiously to avoid damage while waiting for the timer to run out. Even though it would be near impossible to beat Destoroyah with Mothra, I still had 3 other monsters. Final form Destoroyah was very resistant to taking damage, and the heavily armored foe would not be defeated without a long fight. In the last part of the fight, I wasn't using much strategy, just attacking as brutally and as fast as I could.
Because I'm a fucking badass,
That's
man.
brutal, man.
So brutal. He could fucking spit wide loogies at him.
You get away from there.
Fucking kick him in the face. Just look at him all mean.
It looks like he's hunching down to talk to him. Like, oh, you gonna cry? You gonna cry, you little biatch?
It's like he's fucking hunching down to talk to like a little kid, you know, or like a really short person, except the fucking monster is taller than him.
Yeah.
It's just like,
On its last bar of health, Destoroyah had one last counterattack, a beam of energy from its chest. That you then punched when he tried. That's not a beam, that's him being punched.
that's not a beam, that's your arm.
I don't know how powerful it would have been because just before it could fire, I punched Destoroyah in the chest cavity, destroying him.
Destroying the Destroyer.
Oi, oi, oi.
Oi, oi, oi.
And then that was it. The last kaiju boss was gone. In the midst of all the excitement, I had briefly forgotten that there was still one last thing to do before the game would be over.
Here we go.
I'm still sad.
More face guy, great. Seeing the icon again hit me like a ton of bricks, and I froze for a few minutes.
Really?
I had come so far to get to this point, but I was terrified. I really did not want to know what this last encounter was going to be like. Before I could let myself think about it any longer, I moved Godzilla over and began the stage. You're here now. This is the end. Just one last thing, then it's all over. And when
Yeah,
the
man.
screen changed, there was nothing. Just Godzilla and a black screen. I walked back and forth, fired a heat beam. Nothing happened until I heard something. The faint sound of a familiar drum beat. Buddy, a young man, weird thing gonna be red, gonna freak me out. Maybe not really. It's kind of ugly, really. You look like shit. You can stop now. Oh shit. The fight. You gotta fight him.
So anyway, about the casserole.
Look at his health bar. This game's bullshit.
Yeah.
Duh. Ellipses.
Oh no. Oh no. Dot 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 dot.
Dot 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 dot.